Please do this. By the way, I have reporters doing a story, and it hasn't been out yet. But I want to tell you this because this is real important. I had worked over for 25 years. I got the highest pay raise. I got 10% of my pay. It shows what a great worker I was. There's a petition going out, and it was right after when Courtney, the Inspector General, was called out. Her members of her group said that she was spending money that the Postal Service didn't have, and she got ousted. That was with the Office of Inspector General. From that point on, there was an inspector, Judy McDermott, who decided to follow up on that line of signing the petition. So she had the approval of the Inspection Service Management, and it went through management. It was all the names were supposed to be kept confidential. I signed it. But lo and behold, my inspector in charge came and approached me and asked me why I signed it. I was appalled. My name was given out, so I called the ombudsman. And I told him, I hear him walking down the hall. I says, I can't talk to you now, but my name has been released. That ombudsman did not call me back. I called him again. Well, needless to say, I had a meeting with management, the headquarters management. I asked for a meeting, and I told him about my complaint. It was a complaint of discrimination, okay, which was authority mismanagement or abuse of authority. So I complained, and I was told that my complaint was being kept confidential. At this time, they asked all the complainants to, come to them. Well, to a room or a place. Well, everybody was being monitored. So I did not want to meet them in that place because I know who's going to make a complaint. So I told them that I was going to meet them after work in their hotel, which I made reservations for. So I made my complaint there. And I was promised in writing, and I was promised at that meeting that I was not going to be removed from my position or retaliated against. And so those 3 managers were removed, and I was to blame. I got word from everyone else that because I had my name on that petition, all these people were removed. That's the first time it's in the Postal Inspection Service that managers were removed. In the interim, they selected a new manager, and I knew I had this funny feeling that I was going to be retaliated against. I mean, I've seen the history. So when he came on board, and he reminded me this, I did not remember this. I remember meeting with him, telling him what I did, and he said, that's past, nothing's going to happen. So like 6 months later, he kept asking me to be detailed to a supervisory position. Now I've done everything in my career as an inspection service. I was very good at it, but I didn't care for supervising, but what the heck, give it a shot. It might be good for the investigative analyst position, which was coming up. So I said, I'll give it a try. Now, this was the detail. I went into the detail, and I kind of knew that I was never going to get out after 6 months. So I put in my evaluation that I wanted to be removed. I says, and he agreed, in his evaluation that I was the best candidate. However, that he was not going to remove me, and it was not at my request, it was his, okay, that he kept me. Well, it caused me a lot of stress because I knew that the people there, everything that they did wrong, I was getting the blame. And I'm not used to that. I don't mind getting blamed for things I did, but being blamed for somebody else's I didn't like that. And I didn't care for it, so I asked to be removed several times from the supervisory position. They would not remove me. I went to the doctor. I told the doctor I was stressed. And she gave me a note and said for me to be removed from the supervisory position. Now, everybody knew that I was already stressed out. So I called one of the managers who was concerned, and she asked me to let her know how the appointment came out. And I said, because she suspected that I was going to be retaliated, and I think she was trying to help me. So anyway, I told her that I got my doctor said I was stressed. When I came back to work that Monday, I was walked out, put on admin leave. I filed then for stressed, and it was validated. In the meantime, when I was telling them to be removed, their response was, go find another job. I did. I was a good worker. I found another job with the Office of Inspector General. Well, the chief inspector did not like that, because they were at odds with the Office of Inspector General. So they said I couldn't work there. So how do you think that stress was put on me? I also know that as a secretary, I made appointments with all the heads of law enforcement agency, all 16 of them, which meant the Attorney General's office, Homeland Security, FBI, CIA, Secret Service. So you know my case ain't going nowhere. Okay, so after I filed, I went through EEO and the civil lawsuits. I had my budget. I figure this is pretty simple case, but and I told my husband and my family what it entailed. They supported me. They couldn't believe it. So anyway, I went all the way to the Supreme Court, and they said that the inspector in charge and all his agency officials, including the lawyers, their lawyers, who was also represented by a U.S. attorney at their no expense, said that I was reassigned as a supervisor, despite, I was given summary judgments. I was never heard by a jury or a judge. Never. Never. So that's how they passed my case along, all the way to the Supreme Court. And when I filed for the Supreme Court, not even a month did I get a response that a summary judgment was done. I could not believe this. I mean, even my attorney says he has cases that sit for 6 months to a year trying to get through the Supreme Court, but within a month, my case is already thrown out. Also, in one of, I think the Ninth Circuit, I can't remember which level, the response from the judge was the exact same verbiage as the U.S. attorney, saying that they had every right to reassign me as a supervisor. So I kind of accepted that was my fate, except that my attorney signed me up for the Merit System Protection Board to have a hearing. Well, the Merit System Protection Board, as I understand it, takes care of management. So we go there, and the judge there asked for all the paperwork regarding my reassignment. There was no paperwork. I was never reassigned. And their attorney even admitted that I was never formally reassigned. Also, this was revealed during my case. It was also revealed that the position as the supervisor of the unit that I was supervising was going to be abolished, as I had a memo. I had a memo saying it was going to be abolished. They also said I was the only candidate who was capable of being a supervisor. Well, there was 5 other women, I think 4 or 5 other women, and I have their briefs to show that they were supervisors. One of them also filed the same discrimination complaint that I did, but she filed it with a formal EEO, which made my complaint more valid. Okay. Then she testified for me and said that not only was she a supervisor, but she was detailed for many years and paid by my unit to be somewhere else. okay? At this point, I'm like, I can't go through this anymore. I'm emotionally drained. My family's drained. I'm financially and emotionally drained. I can't do this anymore. What I asked for was being reasonable, but they would not agree to it. The postal inspection would not agree to it. Plus, they had a judge who was also biased sitting with them. And it's like, I'm fighting City Hall. I was going to lose. Even the U.S. attorney said to my client, to the person that was testifying for me, and to my attorney, you're never going to win this case. You're never going to win this case. I didn't win that case. But, so I had to settle for just to leave. They also took away, at that point, I was already removed from my roles, and they took away my medical. Because they said that after 7 years, this is how long it took to go through from the EEO all the way to the civil courts, that they have a right to remove me from the roles. I'm panicking because I need my medical care, and I didn't know. All I'm concerned about, even though I'm being on work, is get medical care. So I said to them, just give me my medical care then. I need that. So I stuck to it. But right now I have a reporter friend who's doing a report, and he's gonna, I've contacted the U.S. Attorney's Office. The U.S. Attorney's Office, because it's no longer covered by the Hatch Act. My employment case is no longer an employment case. It's a case of perjury by federal law enforcement officials. These are law enforcement officials, okay? And they say, and they won't answer. I get a letter from the U.S. Attorney and Feinstein's office. They say, I need to contact an attorney. I don't have any more funds. And I already went to the Supreme Court. You can't take a case, and be heard again. I just want to let you know how they did this to me. It's, like Carrie said, after a while, you develop sicknesses. And one of them I think I've developed is high blood pressure. Because just thinking about it, they got away with it. I don't want this to happen to anybody else. And I want my story to be told so it doesn't happen again.